Hmm. Yes, I see. Oh, hi there. How are you today? My question to you is what have you done for your brain today? Right now, we're going to go over together 7 things that are bad for your brain. If you often get foggy headed and aren't so clear during your day, you should probably try some of these things. On this channel, I upload 3, 4, 5 times a week for you for motivational topics, nutrition, workouts, honest reviews, self-improvement, and stuff like that. But right now, we're going to try to find these things that we want to avoid to be more clear-headed in our day. So I can think back to a time in which I was at work and I was walking down the hall, coming from one of my patients, helping them get the correct medication and taking it, and heading down this hallway to my next patient that needed my help getting them up and out of bed and mobile for the day. As I was walking down this hallway, I could remember that the floors were white terrazzo and the neon lights from up above were shining on the floor, and everything just seemed a little bit foggy. And I don't just mean my eyesight, I mean my thought process. I wasn't thinking clearly. I was just kind of looking down at the floor, not really thinking about much in the way of functionality. It wasn't that I was bored, it was just that I was foggy headed. I just felt off. If you ever felt that way, you know exactly what I mean and how I felt. So as I was heading to the next room, I even forgot my next tasks that I was going to try to complete after this task, and I had to really think about it, and the foggy headedness had really just taken over and consumed me for a good portion of that day. I did some research and found out that I was most likely dehydrated for the better part of my life. And especially that day that I'm talking about, that I couldn't take my eyes up off of this white terrazzo dimly lit floor. So after finding this out, I started drinking more water. Once I started drinking more water, about a gallon a day to be specific, I actually started to feel a difference. Then when I would walk down these hallways at work, I didn't just stare down at these white terrazzo floors anymore as I carried along into the next room. I was planning my next tasks out for the day, and I was focused and clear, and I had goals set in my mind, and I could see the list visually in my mind. It was much better off. The new normal became focused and clear-headed. So if you are having these problems and if you think you might be dehydrated, definitely you should drink more water. The second thing on this topic that we're going to talk about is eating unhealthy foods. Consuming too much sugar, saturated fat, or just processed foods in general can definitely impair your brain function. Just the same way that being dehydrated impaired my brain function, eating unhealthy foods was also one of my mistakes that I had made. So once I started drinking more water, and once I started to eat less processed foods and less sugar and less saturated fats, I started to be more clear-headed, more focused on my day. Eat more healthy foods, eat less processed foods. The third thing may be a little controversial to some people, whether you're intermittent fasting or not, but I would say skipping breakfast is going to be a big one that can add to your foggy headedness and confusion for the day. Your brain function will be a little bit inhibited if you don't have that glucose for it to function off of. Yes, there's different aspects and different things that you can play off of if you're intermittent fasting and things like that, but just generally speaking, breakfast is a good thing, and you should not skip breakfast if you want full clarity and brain function throughout your day. The next one is screen time, and I know you and me, we both have this problem with screen time, and I know that because the year is 2022, and you probably live in America the same as me, and we have first world problems, Morty, right? We're always on our screens, whether it be our phone, our tablet, our computer, our TVs, whatever it may be. There's a screen in front of us, and this really hinders our brain function for the day, whether that be for schoolwork or your job work or just your leisure time in general. Whenever you try to relax, you're going to be a little bit more foggy headed because your attention has been on that screen the whole day. The next one should be obvious, and this not getting enough sleep. While this is obvious to most and probably all of you, sleep deprivation can not only alter your brain function, but can also alter your mood and your memory. In short, being sleep deprived can essentially just change who and how you are. And I don't know about you, but that's not the funnest sounding thing to me. I remember one time I was having problems sleeping. I had so much on my plate, and one time I just couldn't even get to sleep the entire night. And then I had to get up and I had to go to work. The entire day at work, I felt like an actual zombie. I felt like I was living in a dream. I couldn't tell if it was a dream or reality. It was a little bit worrying, to be honest. But then I went back home that night and I got sleep, and then I got better sleep after that. And from then on, I tried to focus on my sleep, and then I felt way more clear-headed and better suited to finish my day's tasks. The next thing I want to talk about with you is procrastinating. While procrastinating itself may not cause you any brain fog necessarily, procrastinating up until the point where you have to finish a task and then trying to rush into finishing a task, one of my bigger problems. This will absolutely increase your stress level during the time of trying to cram this task in. Increasing your stress levels in this way and cramming everything into one short period of time chronologically will absolutely impair your brain function for that time and shortly after as well. Every single time I have to write a paper, it feels like I have 10 other papers due, and I have to cram at least one or two of them in at the last second. And this absolutely increases my stress levels, and for the next hour or two just makes me feel groggy and foggy headed, and I don't want to focus on anything. And I know that you've been there too, so I know that you know what I mean when I feel that way. Try not to procrastinate the best you can, and you will definitely be awarded more clarity in your brain function. Next one's really important, and it's not taking any breaks. You have to take some breaks for yourself. While procrastinating is important to try to avoid, taking breaks is incredibly important to have for yourself as well. Working nonstop will wear you down both mentally and physically. While I know this one may be obvious as well, it might be nice for you to hear someone say it, and therefore you can think about it closer for yourself. Do some self-reconnaissance. You know what? In fact, comment under the video and let us know, do you take breaks? Do you ever take breaks? How many breaks do you take a day? How long are your breaks? What do you do during your breaks? I want to know, I want to learn. Maybe there's something that you do that I could add into my daily regimen that might help me. Let's learn together as Team Human. Let's fight these negative gnarlies. This next one is relying on caffeine or energy drinks, just caffeine in general, really. If you rely too heavily on coffee or caffeine from energy drinks, this will absolutely increase your anxiety and stress levels, especially if you already have an issue with these things. It might give you that temporary boost that you feel that you need, but soon after that, you're obviously going to crash, and I know that you know that, but these energy drinks usually come with a lots of added sugar as well. And that boost that you feel that you need will be a lot better off if you just get it by taking maybe a nap rather than getting this caffeine in your system. And I know that sometimes you don't have time for the nap, and that's why you're taking this caffeine. But if you don't have time for a nap and you're taking this caffeine and it's making you foggy headed, having troubles thinking, mentally and physically it's wearing you down, maybe you should think about rearranging your schedule a little bit in order to better protect your health, both physically and mentally. Well, I'm absolutely positive that you're a beautiful person, and I hope that you win the day.